with that introduction, how about this? There's a lot of you here, and you got to breathe a little bit on the last presentation so you can get ready for the next one. So how about this? Let's all draw a deep breath, and maybe just a good way to introduce ourselves might be for you to tell me where you're listening from. It lets me know that you know how to use that chat box. It lets me know that my voice is carrying to you, and it also lets me know how far my voice is carrying. So what's our reach look like today? How about that? Type in the name of your home city, and that just lets me know that we are connected and ready to go. It's getting kind of lonely, guys. Let me know if you're here. All right, let me know if you can hear me. If you can't, then I'm going to have to do something with my microphone. There we go. All right, Manchester's here. California, Paris is here, loud and clear. Thank you for that. Chicago, South Africa. You can hear me just fine. Thank you. BC, checking in from the far side of Canada, and the near side right behind you. There's Michael in Ottawa and Toronto. Right? If anybody's here in Alberta, that's going to cover most of the bases. Texas showing up. Appreciate that. There's Bangor, Maine, New Jersey, Jacksonville, and Atlanta. Good group. All right. Montana, Bill, nice to see you also. All right, since it sounds like you can hear my voice, let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. You're here to be inspired. You're here for some investor inspiration. A lot of good topics being covered today. I'm going to show you today a little bit. It's going to be basic. I listened to the last presentation. It's very interesting and exciting without a doubt. It's a good group, and it's got a little bit of that technical know-how underpinning it without a doubt. Some of you, however, may have limits when it comes to your time. You might have limits when it comes to your expectations of what it is you'll be able to learn. You've got different responsibilities. Some of you have kids, some of you have work. And you're saying, you know what, I want to be a student of the market, but I've got just only so much time to do it. Is there a way that somebody could do a little bit of the heavy lifting for me for a little while so I can build my account while I'm learning this so I don't lose time and opportunity? Well, if that's what you're looking for, then you're in the right place. All right, I'm coming to you today from the Market Traders Institute. If you did a little homework on us, you know that we're here in Orlando, Florida. We got a 70,000 square foot training and trading facility. All right, about 150 people supporting about 30,000 worldwide traders, people that have come through our program, our group. All right, we've got a 22-year track record. In fact, that's the longest in the business. A lot of groups that are doing the seminars and webinars, but we've got the longest track record and the most trained students. In fact, we're getting a lot of press. If you saw this, this is last issue of Inc. magazine, and it says we're one of the fastest growing companies of any kind in the world. Now, how do we get there? It's pretty simple, right? We're getting results for the people that come to us. And I think if you come to a group, right, Market Traders Institute, not only are you looking to become a trader, but you're looking for results that you can measure in dollars. And when you get them, that leads to excitement and enthusiasm, right? You're going to tell a few people, well, at that point, they're going to show up, all right, at our doorstep, and we got a chance to train them also. And really, over the last 22 years, that's how our business has grown, all right? You get results, you build enthusiasm, and people just find out and they gravitate towards it. Well, that's going to continue today with you. Now, I know there's a lot been going on in the markets without a doubt, and I know some of you, right, came here, you saw my bullet points when it came to what the heck it is you do when it comes to current situations in the market. And I think the first thing to do is cover my first bullet point. Joe, what's moving and when's it moving? You said you have a crystal ball. Well, it's actually pretty simple, all right? And I got to tell you right now, I went to public high school and I went to a state college. So in terms of simplicity, I need it. All right, I need simplicity when it comes to trading, because when we start getting a little too involved, number one, it's confusing, to me anyway, and number two, I don't find it that necessary. I like to keep things pretty darn simple, all right, because at the end of the day, it's simple concepts that lead to the best results. Buy low, sell high is a pretty simple concept. It's the first one I learned, okay? Buy stuff that's moving. Well, where do I find that? Here's my crystal ball. All right, I go to NASDAQ.com, I type in the earnings calendar, and what's it show me? It shows me out of 8,000 stocks, which ones are going to be moving today, which ones are going to be moving tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. During earnings season, for me, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, because I'm trying to find the stuff that's on the move. And I want to be positioned before it moves. Well, when's it going to move? When they make their earnings announcement. What's that all about? It's a report card. It tells us, right? It basically clarifies everything. Up to the time they announce their earnings, their report card, how they've been doing, what they're looking at going forward. Up to that point, it's all about guesswork, okay? But when the earnings announcement happens, there's no guessing anymore, okay? The best part about it, though, is I know the day this is going to happen, and I know the time it's going to happen. So I can be positioned before it happens, and that's how I end up making money, all right? I'll show you before we're done how you're going to position yourself, and regardless of whether or not the stock goes up or down, whether or not the earnings report is good or bad, I'll show you a strategy that you can use, right, where you'll position yourself on both sides of the market, and then regardless of what happens, as long as the stock moves up or down, you're going to make some money, all right? Again, it might sound elementary. I'm a simple guy. With my iPhone, I don't know how to use it. I have to give it to my 12-year-old. Hey, fix this, right? When it comes to the download of the update or upgrade, it freaks me out because anything that changes for me is always a source of anxiety. I've been doing the same thing the same way for about 22 years. I've made my living in the market doing this, and I'll tell you what, somebody else might make a little more than I do, but I feed my kids real good. Okay, so if that's kind of what you're looking for, I'm a bug for opportunity, without a doubt. I'm a bug for hype and enthusiasm, and it's all great. But at the end of the day, let's make a living. Okay, let's make a nice living. Let's get a decent car every couple of years. Let's send our kids to a nice school. Let's do those things with the market because the market can provide that stuff for you. All right, that's kind of how I'm going to talk to you today because that's how I've done it. All right, somebody else might make more. Good for them. All right, but I'm going to show you how you can do this in a way that makes sense, in a way that's consistent, and in a way that you can do some of the things that you like to do. All right, now why do I go here for my earnings reports? Because I got a calendar. All right, showed me all the different stocks that are reporting their earnings today. Now, that's a list of about, let's say, 60, okay? Earlier in the month, right, earlier February, earlier January, this was a longer list. But out of 8,000 stocks, these are the ones I'm going to highlight, all right, during the course of the day. Tomorrow, I'll be looking at these, all right? Some are going to report during the day. Some are going to report before the bell. Some are going to report after the bell. But this is what I'm looking for because I know when these stocks post, all right, that's when their stock is going to move. So if you haven't done that, get yourself a list. Get an earnings calendar, right? Save it as a shortcut on your desktop. What's moving today? Because this is what it's going to be, all right? Market's all about ideas. Where do you find them? Right about here, all right? Now, what's been going on? How do you trade earnings? Well, a lot of times, all right, investors are looking at the market. They're looking for the big names. Amazon, big name, obviously. They just about dominated holiday shopping. Right, there was a lot of hype, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of anticipation when it came to their earnings report. And a lot of rookies ended up getting caught in this one, okay? There was so much hype, there was so much enthusiasm, there was really a consensus of good news, right, that a lot of investors went and bought this stock just before the earnings report. It went from 600 to 620, I think it went to 640, okay? What were those people expecting? They were expecting this stock to pop. You don't buy something at 600 unless you think it's going to 700. Right? You don't buy it at 640 unless you think it's going to 800, right? So they were expecting a big move in the stock when the earnings report came out. Well, they got a big move in the stock. Unfortunately, it was in the wrong direction, right? As soon as Amazon announced their earnings, and you saw this, right? The stock started doing all those fun things, right? Plunging and getting battered, all those fun words. And there's a lot of hand-wringing going on, right? A lot of finger pointing. What happened here? I thought you said. This sort of conversation. But not everybody got beat up. Right, not everybody was upset at the news, even though, right, Amazon was at 640, and then a day later it was down, what, 68 points? 9 days later it was down 164 points. You know what's going on down here? A lot of people that bought it up here can't wait to tell you what a good company Amazon is. Can't wait to tell you, right, what their average customer is, right? They can't wait to dissect all of the positives in Amazon. Why? Because their only choice, if they're down 164 points on the thing, is to hold it and make up some good story that they can tell their spouse who's looking at them funny at this point because they're getting beat up. They're reading all the 3-page articles. Here's what went wrong. Well, thanks a lot, right? Thanks for telling me after the fact, Monday morning quarterback, what's wrong with my position. But here's the difference, okay? Not everybody got beat up on Amazon. People that were positioned properly on Amazon, they didn't care which way this thing went, but they played it in a way that was low risk. They played it in a way that they could make some dough on it, okay? Most of them probably straddled the position, didn't care which way it was going to go. And after 9 days, the same 9 days, instead of sending a note that said, here's what went wrong, what they're doing is sending a note that says, wow, in 9 days, here's what went right. Amazon, awesome. 9 days later, I'm up $5,000. That's the kind of note I want you to be sending. All right, and I'm going to talk to you today about some people in an organization that you can be a part of, all right, where a thank you note just might be in order to the team that you're working with. You see this? Here's a note that was sent to a guy named Chris Irvin. Go ahead, write down the name. You got a piece of paper and a pen. Go ahead and jot that down. I-R-V-I-N. I'm going to introduce him in a minute, okay? Chris Irvin, right? Who's this? This is somebody that for a large portion of people does the heavy lifting for them. They want to trade. They got a limited amount of time. They want to trade. They have a limited amount of knowledge. They want to trade. They want to learn as they go, but they want to make some money doing it, and they're tired of waiting, okay? Here's a guy that understands how to take you from green to green. Green, brand new to a team, brand new to trading perhaps, to green, I don't know, $5,000 in 9 days. So if I want you to think along these lines. If you're the type of person that's got a busy schedule, but you enjoy the market and you want to make some of this opportunity, all right, but you maybe need a partner to go along with to do it, this is the conversation for you. All right, I want you to have a conversation where you're making money sending thank you notes. I want you to have a conversation about the stocks that are in the news, right? Like LinkedIn, you saw this one too, right? Another one of those that started at 200, and after they announced their earnings, right, they were trading at 100, right? Another one of those that got battered and plunged, except what happened, right? During the same time it was getting battered and plunged, here's another guy, sends a note to Chris, pretty safe trade I did, right? LinkedIn, yeah, it dropped 100 points, but I made myself 72%. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wow, this is exciting. Okay, let me just tell you, Greg, the guy that penned this note, he didn't just fall off of the turnip truck. Okay, what he decided was, look, I've got a certain amount of resources and time and enjoyment that I want to get out of the market, and I want to pull some money out of it too. I've got to find somebody where I fit in. Okay, so he may not be super technical. He may not be all that interested in reading the economics magazine. Okay, but the fact of the matter is he's found a team that he can work with. It makes sense to him. What he's doing makes sense. And guess what? He gets to make some dough in the meantime because he works with this guy right here, Chris Irvin. Okay, who is he? Here's a guy that was named an all-star by Trade King. Now, if you know who Trade King is, that's a pretty big designation. Now, how do you get to be named an all-star? Here's the answer. You know how to make money. All right, that's really the simple answer. But the fact is, he works with a group, all right, a trader, a team of traders, all right, and that team of traders is able to generate those kinds of profits, returns, enthusiasm under his tutelage, under his guidance and leadership. That's really what it amounts to, all right. The team here at Market Traders Institute is called Ultimate Stock and Options. Go ahead and write that down, okay. I'll give you enough information today so you can make a good decision on whether or not you want to join that team. But the fact is, he puts this together in a way that makes sense. Getting everybody to speak his language, right? Teaching them the secret sauce, if you will, right? Some of the things that he's written about, developed, right? Those things that got him the accolades from Invez and Fox Business and so forth. He'll give you a couple of tools, the same ones that he uses, so everyone is singing off the same sheet of music, right? And then he'll put a team of traders together that are going to steer the boat, all right? So if that's something you're interested in doing, how about giving me 60 minutes? Because we're going to talk about that team, and really what we're going to do is talk about options. Because when it comes to that market, you know what? Even if you have your pocket of serious money, okay, your IRA, your 401k, I want you to leave that aside. I want you to just take a little bit of time, all right, a little bit of resources, and I'm going to show you how you can lever all that stuff in an options account. All right, we're going to talk to each other a little bit. I'll ask you from time to time if you're following along. Use the chat box to give me some feedback. I'm going to get you talking like a trader. I'm going to put those tools I was talking about on your desk. Net. I'm going to get you prepared to trade with Chris and his team. All right, by the time we're done, I'll put a couple of trades under your belt so you can get started, right? Get out of the gate strong. And from that, know this. I will give you things to react to and respond to, but no matter what it is that I present to you today, you'll be able to take advantage of it risk-free to you financially. All right, so with that as our precursor, let's get the ball rolling. Who am I? You saw my smiling face on the Investor Inspiration Marketing materials, but I think it's important to give you a little background so you know you're listening to a qualified source. You know this isn't a waste of your time. Understand, I've been trading markets since I graduated from college. right? Steered my car east towards New York City, got my first job as a clerk on the American Stock Exchange. Since then, I've been licensed in all of them, all right? Stock options, commodities, futures, Forex. A couple of firms had me as their principal in stock and options. They would send me their traders, new people, to learn how to trade. Ran a couple of trading desks. Everybody used to come to me with the same ask. What would they ask me? They'd say, can you make me successful at this, right? Can you make me a trader? Everybody has that same idea because they understand the opportunity and they want to grab a hold of it. Well, here's the answer. Yeah, I can do that. All right. What I want you to do is just keep things simple. All right. There's keys to success. You follow what I'm going to tell you and you're going to be right there. Okay. First and foremost, you got to pick the right market. You got to pick the one that gives you the most advantages. Now, we're talking about the options market today because it gives you, the trader, every available advantage when it comes to trading. All right, opportunities there. It's a low-risk endeavor. Fact is, it's liquid, it's leveraged. Everything that you'd hope for in a market, you're going to get that here in the options market. Now, understand, I know there's a ton of different markets to choose from. All right, and you're going to decide which one you're going to pick. And I'm not going to convince you of anything. You're gathering information at this point. So I've got to convey enough information to you so you can make a good decision. But you got to get this one right. You got to pick the right market. All right, and the second one, you got to have the right team. You got to have people that you work with and that work with you. Now listen, this is important because I'm not talking about books and tapes and articles and websites and this sort of thing. Okay, there's plenty of information available. You can do a Google search right now. You get 4 million hits, right? Type in options trading. You'll be there reading all day. You can go to the bookstore. You can watch Susie Orman, and it's fine. But understand, all of that material can do is tell you stuff, and it's two-dimensional, right? It can tell you stuff, but showing you is totally different. Doing stuff live is totally different. Doing stuff on the fly is different. Okay, nothing worse than being in a trade, right? Not being quite sure what to do and then having to flip through this book, or was it that book, or was it this paper? Let me go on the internet. Listen, when you're trading live with people, not only can they show you the way, but they can keep you out of trouble, right? It's the people you work with that are going to make the biggest difference here. You're going to get educated, all right? There's no doubt about it. You need some education to do this. Got to have the right tools. You got to have some tools. You know why? Because the other guy has them. You're competing, all right? The tools you use are going to be for speed and for clarity so that you're going to be able to confidently push the darn button when the time comes, all right? Speed, I found my opportunity. Clarity, there it is. Time to push the button, okay? Your team's going to be a big deal, and the last part's going to be up to you, your commitment. Are you committed to doing this? If you've been here for a couple hours today, I can tell you're committed, okay? And that's going to work for a while. But what's going to keep you here? What's going to keep you in the markets, okay? Opportunity is great, but it's a concept. You know what's going to keep you coming back? Putting some of those concepts in your pocket, being able to spend them, all right? Yeah, that's a concept. It's called dollars. And I know that if you're on the right team, all right, they want to help you with your commitment. And if you make some money today, you're going to be committed to showing up tomorrow. Do you see how that works? Let's keep our eye on the ball, okay? Results rule in this business. It's not about what you know. It's about how much money you make. And maybe you should write that down. It's not about what you know, because I don't know much, okay? I don't have to. It's about what you make. And at the end of the day, if you're thinking, you know what, it seems so big. Well, it is, right? You're going to participate in the capitalist system of the world. When you turn on the TV and you see, today the Dow Jones closed at 16,280 and 400 million shares traded hands, and you were a part of that, that's pretty cool. Right? But you don't have to know everything there is to know. You just have to get yourself started. If you're not started yet, I'll show you how to open an account. If you got one open, you're struggling a little bit, let me clear up a few things for you, give you something you can take with you so that you have a firm rock to step on as your next step forward. That's what we'll do today. All right? I don't care what you know. All right? I care that you make money. I want you to send a note like this maybe next week. Watch this. Look. He says, look, hey, Chris, right, the trader he's working with, appreciate the time you took, right, getting together in one of these electronic environments. We don't have to meet at the exchange anymore, right? The team that I first worked on when I was a clerk, I used to have to bring these guys coffee, meet them in the morning. I was the first one there. And during the day, I'd punch their tickets, pick up their dry cleaning. They'd send me to the airport to pick up their parents, right? It was not a very glamorous job, but I was able to at least be in the same room with them. And pretty soon, what did they tell me? Put down that trading book. Get over here, right? Let me show you how to do this. right? Well, that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to get together in an electronic environment like this, right? A Facebook private room, whatever it is. And when we get together, we're going to do stuff live. Now, he says here, the trade we did worked out great. About 2 contracts of the 390 call and put. Made some money. Now, let's find out what you know. All right, let me get my first couple of questions out so that I know what you know when it comes to this stuff. Okay, first and foremost, how many of you know what a straddle is? That's that word on the top line. If you already know, you're going to be like 9/10 of the way there. All right, if you don't, I'm going to get you caught up pretty quickly. If you know what a straddle is, though, can you let me know? Type your name in the chat box. Or type, not your name, just type a yes in the chat box if you know what that is. Do you know what a straddle is? If you do, type a yes. If you don't, just type a no or I'm not sure. Okay, it's going to let me know who knows what, and then I'll know what pace I can go here today. You do, no, yes. Tom, you're funny. Not sure, yes, no. All right, listen, it's about half of you, and that's okay. All right, because I'm going to get the same answer when I ask you this next question. How many of you know what the 390 call and put is? All right, basically that's a straddle. So if you said yes to the first one, you probably said yes to the second one. And if you're not sure, then the second one probably a little confusing too, okay? But here's my third question, and I bet you all know the answer to this. You might not know what a straddle is, but how many of you know what $3,800 is? Okay, this is illustrating my point, okay? Because this guy says right here, look, I'm still new at this, and I'm trying to learn and apply on the go. He didn't have to know everything to make $3,800. What did he have to know, right? He had to know just enough, and he had to have enough courage, right, to get in there and do it. And the fact of the matter is, when you see how to do this, low risk, high reward, you're going to be able to do this with some confidence. You're going to win your trades before you push the button, all right? Not after, before. And you're going to see how to do it, and this is something you can capture. Listen, when I was a kid, I had the big dreams, and I wanted to do this, and I remember how it felt. All right, I remember seeing it, and it was so big to me, and I said, man, I got to be able to do this. And what did I do? I had to take a half step in faith forward. When people presented themselves to me, the right people managed to find me. When I was trading stocks at Broadway, it was John McClain, right? When I was trading lumber at Bank of Ireland, it was Mike Ryan. The right people managed to find me, and I was so thankful because what they showed me, I couldn't learn in a book. All right, didn't have to know everything. You don't have to know. Learn and apply as you go. Trade as you go. And that's really the mantra of this group. And it works. That's what works. All right, why do you trade options? Because you get leverage. All right, you don't have to bring a lot of money to get a whole lot of bang for your buck. All right, you trade options because it doesn't require a whole lot of capital. And you trade them because you can make money in either direction. The mutual fund guy, right? The stock buyer, right? They can only make money in one direction. They buy something, hope it goes up. Okay, you got some mutual funds, that's all you're doing. Make money in one direction. That's why when on TV, right, stocks are down in January, we're down 12%, everybody's sweating, right? They're wringing their hands, they got the sweaty palms. Why? Because they're not able to be nimble, they're not able to be flexible. But when you trade options, you have control. And all you're looking for is direction. All right, and here's the best part about a down market. Do stocks go up or down faster? Answer the question. If you know it, you've seen it. Do stocks go up faster or down faster? I'll help you with it. You've seen this. They go down faster. Right? They go down 3 times faster than they go up. Think about your own experience. How long did it take us to go from 15,000 up to 18,000 on the Dow? Months, right? How long did it take us to give back the 3,000? 2 weeks, right? It happened in January. Stocks go down 3 times faster than they go up. So you have to understand that when stocks are going down, you got an opportunity to make money 3 times quicker. And that's not a get-rich-quick scheme. That's just a characteristic of the market. Okay? You see a down market, your palms shouldn't be sweating. You should be rubbing them together because that's the time, right, that serious money is made. And here's the best part. While someone else might be panicking, right, instead of making money on the way down, what's going to happen to you? When we hit that platform, right, you're again going to be positioned to buy at a lower price. So you're going to end up with 2 wins during the same time they're sucking air, hoping things come back. Okay, this is what I'm telling you. And you can do this. Options are flexible. Return on investment, you've heard it before. Okay, I'm not going to have the 8% a year conversation with you. Your broker can do that. Okay, Let's get some value. Let's get some conservative. Let's do aggressive over here. Let's get some growth over there, right? We'll put it all together and we'll average 8% a year. That's not our conversation today, okay? We're going to talk about 50, 80, 100, 200% return on investment. If you're a business person, you want to talk like that, okay? Don't need a lot of capital to make a lot of noise. And I'm going to protect your downside, because if I was just throwing your money against the wall, hoping that it sticks, then this is a waste of time. It's not fair to you. I'm going to talk about everything so you can make a good decision. And at the end of the day, when you see this, it's not going to make sense for you not to do it. And it's real easy to understand. Okay, if you've done a little bit of options work already today with one of the other presenters, great. But I'm still going to give you a platform because I want you to be speaking the language the way that I speak it. All right, I want you to speak the language the way Chris speaks. That if you're going to be on our team, you got to talk the way we do. It's not a secret handshake, you understand, but it's a vernacular. Okay, and when you're on our team doing our thing, it's what you're going to want to know. All right, you kind of a good fellas type of conversation, all right? And it's easy to teach this to you because there's only two things to know, all right? I'm not going to get too fancy. I can do bear call, bull put, iron condor. I could go through all that. It's not necessary, okay? I'm going to give you the foundation because every option strategy is built on just these two things. And if you can get these two things, write your head around these in your back pocket, whatever, you're going to be 9/10 of the way there. Right, call options, put options. Let's do just a quick basic, all right? And after that, we'll put the pedal down. Call options, put options. Let's do calls first. What's a call? It's the right to buy something down the road at a certain price. Down the road, in the future. It's the right to buy something in the future at a certain price. Best way to do this is by giving you an example. The best way to learn anytime is by doing a trade. You understand that? You can learn from a book. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to learn more doing a trade than you'll ever learn in a book because you'll be sharp. It's like being thrown in the pool. My mother once threw me in a swimming pool, right, to teach me how to swim. You know what she did? She yelled, swim. You learn pretty quick, right, when the water hits your face. You learn better when you're in the right environment. That's why I always like doing trades, okay, because that's the best way to learn. Your mind is sharpest. So I'm going to take you through this using a stock. Let's go with Apple, okay? Take you through this. If Apple was trading at $100 and you thought it was going up, what would you want to do? You'd want to buy some Apple, but what if you couldn't buy it today? What if you said to yourself, well, I want to buy me some Apple, but I want to buy it at the end of March, end of April, end of May? Okay, you can do that, but I only want to pay $100. Oh, well, then you use a call option so that you can buy Apple at that same $100 sometime in the future, end of March, end of April, end of May, for example. Well, how do you profit from that? Well, it's simple. If Apple goes up to 150, right, by the end of May, and you got a call option, you get to go ahead and buy Apple for 100. And there's a profit in there for you. That's how calls work. The simplest way to say it is you make money with calls when stocks go up. Let me keep going, right? Puts. What's a put? That's just the opposite. It's the right to sell something in the future at a certain price. Can I use Apple again as my example? What if Apple was out there at $100 and you thought it was going down? Well, you wouldn't want to buy any, obviously, right? You want to buy low, sell high, right? And if you think it's going down, you don't want to buy it, but you want to profit from it on the way down. What can you do? Well, you can get yourself a put option that gives you the right to sell Apple in the future, right? End of March, end of April, end of May, for example, right? At the same $100. That way, if you were right about Apple and it fell to 75, you could still sell it for 100. And there's a profit in there for you. Now, you might ask, well, Joe, if somebody else could get Apple anywhere else for 75, then why would they get it from me for 100? Here's the answer. Because somebody gave you the right, okay? When you did this put option, somebody made an agreement with you that you could sell them Apple for 100 at the end of May. So even though Apple's selling at 75, they got to take it at 100. And there's a profit in there for you. And you're thinking, well, that looks pretty easy. I would do that all day. What does it cost? Let me tell you, every option costs money. You pay a premium for it. What do you pay the premium for? Control and time. Best way to illustrate it, let's get back to our Apple again. Let's say Apple's at 100, okay? And you think Apple's going up. You're going to buy yourself a call option. Let's say it's a 30-day call. You're going to get 30 days to buy Apple at 100, right? This option will be good until the end of March. Now, what do you pay for it? In this example, you pay $4. That's your premium. That's your cost. As a business person, number one, you got to know what the costs are, but number two, you want to keep them nice and low. All right? In this example, your premium is $4. You got to the end of March to buy Apple for $100. Now, let's say good stuff starts happening to Apple in a hurry. Okay? And at the end of March, by the end of March, Apple is trading at 125. Could happen. An example. Okay? If Apple's trading at 125 at the end of March, what are you going to do? You're going to exercise your option, and you're going to buy it for 100. Is there a profit in there for you? Yeah, it's the difference between this and this. Okay? It's $25. That's your profit, but be careful. That's your gross profit. Why? Because you had an expense in there. Don't forget, you paid a premium for this privilege. So you got to take that out of the equation. So net, how'd you do? You made 21. Now here's something I need you to ask, or I need to ask of you. Okay, I got to see if this makes sense to you. Not necessarily the concept of options yet. We'll do a few more examples so you get more comfortable. But what I want to know is this: what's your risk tolerance? Would you be willing to risk $4 to make $21 on Apple? That's my question for you, and I want you to type an answer in the box. It's a yes or no. Would you risk $4 to make 21 on Apple? Yes or no? Type that in the box. And if you're not sure, type not sure. I'm going to get a sip of water. Sure, why not, right? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, laugh out loud, right? These are fun examples, aren't they? Because they work out, right? We can always show you that nice hypothetical example, but some of you haven't answered, and some of you are like, no, I wouldn't do that. Why? Because you're thinking of the other side. Okay, you're thinking about this one. What if Apple doesn't go to 125, but instead drops to 75? Well, then what happens? Well, what's going to happen is your option's not going to be worth anything. Why not? Because you're not going to go buying Apple at 100 if you can go anywhere else and get it for 75. So what's going to happen to your option? It's going to expire. Okay, and it's going to expire worthless. It's not worth anything. I can't use it. Okay, but here's what you need to know first. Yes, you ended up losing the $4, okay, in this case. But you knew ahead of time what your worst case scenario was. Before you took the trade, right, you said to yourself, okay, I'm risking 4 to make 21 net. I'll do it. Okay, you knew it ahead of time, so there was no sweaty palms in the equation. Of course you're thinking about the positive, but here we are at the end of March, and it ends up being a dud. It is what it is. You knew it ahead of time. You limited your risk. Okay, it was defined and limited. Well, what do you mean by limited? Let me show you. Look, what's happening to the person that owns Apple at 75? Well, at this point, if they started here and now they're here, they're $25 underwater. Okay, telling you what a good company Apple is and all that stuff. They're $25 underwater. You at the same time, same stock, same direction, you've only lost 4. So you have limited your loss. In fact, it's a fraction. Okay, here's the other part. While they decide, all right, if they're holding Apple at 75, they're holding Apple. All right, what are they doing? They're hoping it comes back to 100, but they're going to tie up capital waiting for that time. They're going to lose time waiting for that time. Okay, you've already moved on to the next trade. All right, they got to get to 96 before they even break even with you. You see that? You've already moved on. This is why we trade options. You know what your risk is ahead of time. All right, that helps with what you save on tons and Rolaids is one of the reasons you trade options. Do you understand? Because you know what the risk is ahead of time. There's no sweaty palms and that sort of thing. All right? Now you're going to trade options in contracts. One contract covers 100 shares. 2 contracts, 200 shares. That means that 10 contracts covers 1,000 shares. All right? You see the word up there, control. Write that down, control. What do I want you to think of when it comes to trading options? You're not going to own stock, okay? But you're going to control positions. It's a controlling interest in an asset, kind of like your house. Remember that when you bought your house? What'd you pay for your house? $200? Okay. Let's say the day came where it's time to close on your house. When you went to the closing table, I bet you didn't write a check for $200,000. What did you do in order to control that asset? You put a small amount down on the house, 3.5%, 5%, whatever it was, 10%. And what happened after you did that was they gave you a set of keys. They even called you a homeowner, even though you only had a fraction of the money in the equation, okay? you still got controlling interest in the asset. And when the asset goes up, what happens? The fun starts. You can do a HELOC, you can refi, you can pull out some cash, you can sell the darn house. If there's money to be made, you get to keep all of it, right? Same thing with options, okay? We're not going to own, we're going to control. And leveraged markets, I tell you, you got to have a lever. Leveraged markets are going to get you there faster. You got dollar for dollar stuff, it'll take you 7 years to double your money, okay? You start trading with leverage, you can do it in 7 weeks, 7 days. Okay, you do it right, you could do it in 7 hours. Let's keep going. All right, you ready for this? Because I think you're ready to trade. Best way to learn is to do it. Do some trading. Joe, I'm nervous. You shouldn't be. All right, let's have some fun with this. Netflix. When did we as a team trade Netflix? We trade Netflix about 4 times a year. When? Just when they announce their earnings report. We get positioned before the earnings. Then when the earnings announcement comes out, stock pops. We take advantage of it at the best possible time, okay? It's that simple. Now, we traded this when Netflix was trading, all right, just before their earnings announcement, they were at $100 a share. Now, what if you had a $1,000 account? What if you're just getting started? You're dipping your toe in the water, right? You're getting started with options. You're getting started with stocks. You're getting started with a team. You get a small account. Well, on a $100 stock, how much can you afford? Well, with $1,000, you can get about 9, 10 shares, right? 9 shares. What does it say on my screen? Yeah, I need a little help with math here. But you got 9 shares of stock, okay? What does the option trader do? Well, they want to do Netflix. They want to participate in it, but they want to do it in a more meaningful way, okay? Netflix, $100 stock. Amazon's a $500 stock. Nike's $100. Facebook's $117, okay? The oil companies, General Electric, IBM, expensive. And more often than not, right, if you're a small investor, it's hard for you to participate in those companies in a meaningful way. Here's the tough part. Those are the ones that are making all the money, okay? It's low risk, truly, or lower risk to buy some GE that pays a 3% dividend than it is to buy some NASDAQ-listed $4 stock hoping for a big return. Do you agree with that? The tough part is you can't get much of it. So the small investor is left typically taking all the risk on companies that aren't developed. And the money, the real money is being made on the companies that are printing it, like GE. Like, you understand what I mean? This gives you a chance to do what you want to do, okay? Be with the companies that are making the money, and you can be alongside the big money. You're just going to trade options. You're going to angle in. And in this case, you're going to look for an options contract, okay? Trading at a similar price. And what's the premium on this? About $5, okay? Now, you got a $1,000 account. Check this out. Instead of getting 8 or 9 shares, what are you going to do? Well, if the premium is 5, you get a $1,000 account, you're going to get 2 calls. You're going to control 200 shares. Now look at the difference. On the left, you got 9. On the right, you got 200. Now what happened? Okay, in this particular case, Netflix announces their earnings. Stock is super sensitive. They announced their earnings, ton of new subscribers. They're putting the cable companies out of business. The report went great. Stock pops. Okay, goes from 100 up to 110. Nice move. Okay. What does the stock trader do? Well, I got a $10 profit. Let me go ahead and take that on my 9 shares. They make themselves $90, 9%. Okay, that's the old conversation. You're an options trader now. What do? Well, you cash in your 2 call contracts. Now they've gone from 5 up to 12 1/4. So when you cash those in, you didn't make $90, you made $1,400. All right, you didn't make 9%, you made $145. Now in this case, again, you might be brand new at this, and it's fine. You're a little green. Here's what you need to know. Keep your eye on the ball. This is better than this. This is the number I want for you. That gives you a fighting chance. Okay? Do you know how many of these trades you'd have to do to make up one trade like this? 40 of them. Is that right? What's my math like? 10 of them. Whatever. A lot. You'd have to have a lot of winners over here to match this one winner over here. That's the point I'm trying to make. And this is a way that you can participate in a meaningful way. Now, if you're wondering, wait a second, how come the stock went up 10, but my option only went up 7 or so? Well, that's another term that I'm going to teach you so you can speak the options language. That's called delta. All right, delta. What is it? It's a percentage that the option moves relative to the stock. If the stock moves 10 and the option moves 7, right, then you do the ratio, right? That's the delta, right? The option moves 72 cents on the dollar with the stock. Does that make sense? Okay, now you're talking like a trader. I told you that you would be. And guess what? You're ready to do another trade. Let me show you another one on Intel. I like this example. Why? Because we did it the same way. Off of my little crystal ball, Intel's going to announce earnings. Okay, what are they trading at? 23 and change. A lot of hype and enthusiasm surrounding Intel. So what are we going to do? We're going to go trade it. We're going to buy low and sell high. That's the goal anyway. You got a $1,000 account. What do? Buy as much as you can. Now you got 40 shares. A little better. Okay. What's the options trader do on this one? They look for a similarly priced call option, right? Premium's 36 cents. Well, that means they can get themselves 25 calls for that same $1,000. 25 calls. Okay. You got 40 over here, 2,500 over there. You know where this is going. Well, what happened to the stock? I'll show you. After earnings, boom, the stock popped. It went up 9 days in a row. Now, how high did it go? Nice move. It went from 23 and change up to 25 and change. What'd the stock trader do? They cashed it in. There's their $80 again, right? There's their 9%. What'd the options trader do? Cashed in their 25 calls. Nice position, okay? Went from 36 cents to $1.36. They made 2,500. They made 280%. Now, there's a couple ways you can look at this. Number one is you could have done half of the outlay, okay? You could have done 12 calls and still made $1,200. You would have still made 12-fold with half the money. You could have just done one call and match this, so you could have risked 1/10 the amount to get the same return. You see that? When you start to talk about numbers, they don't lie, okay? The fact of the matter is when you're talking about options, that lever is going to be what gets you where you want to go. That's meaningful, okay? $2,500 is serious money. I don't care who you are, because you do that just once a month, okay? Added to whatever you're doing right now, that's an extra $25,000 a year. That's good stuff. Okay? Don't quit your day job just yet. I know you want to. I know some of you might not have your day job, right? You're the person that says, I need something to do during the day and I want to make some money doing it. Well, let's find the right team. You're gonna be on a team of people that you like. You got to meet those people. All right, I was lucky enough to meet them. I've met thousands of people in my career, but I ended up getting lucky and meeting some of the best. All right, or they found me, whichever it was. And that's the difference in your success. And once you find that synergy, it's really cool. Now, if you're saying, okay, I don't mind meeting you, but I want to know what you're trading right now. It's got to make sense to me. Well, that'd be something I'd want to ask first, too. So let me tell you what it is that we're trading right this minute. And it shouldn't come as a surprise to you. All right? Are we trading the stocks that you've heard of? Yes. We don't mess around with penny stocks. We don't mess around with one product pharmaceutical companies out of Fiji. Okay, that's not our thing. We're trading the stocks not only that you've heard of, but you've been trying to figure out how to buy in the first place. You know how we do that? Okay, because that's a lower risk effort. I told you we're not going to throw your money against the wall to see if it sticks. If I walked up to you and said we're trading some McDonald's, you're going to be receptive to that. You understand what I mean? And we do. We trade Amazon. We trade LinkedIn. I'll show those to you in a little bit. Netflix, Apple. All right, what are we trading now? What are we setting up now? Look, oil's up 30%. No, it's not. It's down from 140. Stop. Oil's up 30% in days. It's historic. Okay? If you went to your gas pump today, it ain't $1.65 anymore. You understand? This is happening, and it's happening quickly. When's the last time you missed a 30% move? When you blinked. It's happening. All right? Now, oil was at $140. I'll grant you that, and that's fine, and that's part of the analysis. But listen, when this thing pops, we're talking about big moves. Now, are we going to trade the futures contract? No. Why? Too risky. Are we going to trade the oil ETF? Maybe. We're also going to trade the oil companies, BP, Sunoco, Suncor, Chevron, Exxon. All right? There's money to be made in this, gang. And I want you to know, with that kind of volatility, we can place trades so that whether this trades at 19 or 90, we're making money with it. Okay? If you missed oil already, that first leg, write it down in big capital letters, OIL, because you don't get 30% moves all that often. All right, while everybody else is complaining about the price, or while they're talking about this bubble or that bubble. You know what happened with the internet bubble? A lot of people, while there was a ton of money being made, were just sitting on their hands not knowing what to do. And then when things came back again, did you notice the NASDAQ's at 4,800, 5,000? It's there. What's been going on? How come that money's not being made by everybody? Because they don't know how to do this stuff, okay? You just find the right team and do this stuff. It's there, all right? What else are we trading? You're going to be surprised by this one, all right? The one I want to show you on the screen that's got $25 in it, $25 of opportunity. It's happening right now, okay? The one that I can't wait to show you, and it's not LinkedIn or Netflix or Facebook or Under Armour. You know what it is? It's right there. Bed Bath & Beyond. Joe, come on, it's a retailer. Correct. You're telling me it's going to go up $25? I never said that. I said there's $25 in it. Okay? Write it down. The stock's trading at 48. Okay? And when I see Walmart closing stores, and I see Kohl's closing stores, and they talk about things like industry collapse. When I see JCPenney's go from 42 down to 8. When I see Sears go from 93 to 19, okay? When I see Linens and Things shutter every store, that's opportunity, gang, all right? And if you know how to play things to the downside, what I'm telling you is this. If Penny's can go from 42 to 6, then Bed Bath & Beyond can certainly go from 48 to 25. And if the charts are showing me that, and I know how to position this, I do 10 puts, I can make myself $20,000. Well, show me how to do that. I will. Okay. In fact, the oil thing, the Bed Bath & Beyond thing, there's a couple more too. Dollar stores. Okay. Listen, why don't you come to the team meeting? Okay. It's tomorrow morning. If you're serious about this, remember I told you commitment was going to be a big deal. All right. I'm going to separate some of you right now because I'm going to ask some of you for a little bit more of your time tomorrow. Okay. 9 o'clock before the market opens. Market's closed right now. Nothing we can do. Right. Market's open tomorrow morning at 9:30. Give me a half an hour before that, and let's get you set up on a couple of trades that you can do right away. See them set up. Dollar Tree, Marriott, Apple also. All right. Come to our team meeting. Meet with Kevin Dixon tomorrow morning. Who's Kevin? All right. Write down the name. Normally, Kevin, right, is a guy you'd have to go meet at the Money Show. Or one of those other places, right, in London, Vegas, right, where they have the big conventions. You'd have to get a ticket to see him. But here on this team, right, along with Chris Irvin, the All-Star, right, you get to trade with this guy live because he's part of your team. So what you'll do tomorrow morning is you'll come and visit. And we'll set up some trades for you on just what it is that we're trading. Okay, trading is about ideas. It's about commitment. It's about showing up. It's about getting the information and knowing how to set up your trade, proper pricing, proper patience, okay, understanding what it is to look for. Great. Let's find out from a 30-year veteran, right, who's coming to you from Dallas. He can see the Exxon building from his office. Why do you think he's working on the oil companies for us? But the fact is, if you want to be a part of that meeting, all right, I need you tomorrow morning. Need you for about a half an hour, and we'll do it before the open. You want to do that? Here's what you need to do, okay? If you want to be a part of that visit, type in your name and a good phone number to reach you, all right? What's going to happen is one of my teammates here, traders, education specialists, going to give you a call, okay? Put the letters BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, next to your phone number so we know, all right, what you want to be a part of, what visit, what meeting, all right? What'll happen is they'll call you, tell you exactly what you have to do to be in there. Get you the web link, right, the username, the password, that whole thing. All right, so if you want to be a part of that, there's an opportunity to do it. And I'm telling you right now, we're talking about historic stuff in oil. If you missed 30% and it didn't occur to you that you did, right, because it doesn't seem like 30 is that far from 26. Gang, that's a huge move. That's monstrous. That's the sort of thing that could make your account. Most traders, you know what they need? 2 good ones. You get 2 good ones, and that changes everything. You're playing with some house money at that point. It changes all of your perspective. All right, I've done this for too long. I know what it's going to take. When you get to the point where you're playing with some house money, I'm telling you, it's going to change everything about what you can do. Take you to that level that you're looking to go to. All right? Come to that meeting. Some of you said you would. I appreciate that. Look, Teresa, good. You know what? Good for you, right? Foros, Bill, Right, you're in Montana. You're thinking it's cold here. Let me go to a meeting. Now, I know you got to get up a couple hours early in the morning. All right, but I appreciate that you're gonna. And I'm separating you right now. I know that there's people that are going to be committed to doing this, or they're going to figure out a way to get to that one. Now, some of you are saying, "Well, slow down a minute, Joe, because I like the idea, I like the enthusiasm, but you got to show me that this isn't guesswork." So let me show you how we find opportunities. All right, and I would dare say that it doesn't take a genius to go trade some Exxon. Okay, it's right out front. Doesn't take a genius to trade some Amazon or Facebook or Netflix or Google, right? Everybody's trading those. That's true. Well, where do you find the other stuff? When I tell you that we're trading those things that I showed you, right, we're going to build your foundation. But then we're also going to have our little ancillary trades on things like Under Armour. How are we going to find them? We're going to use this cool scanner, right? Write that down, Ultimate Market Scanner, because this is a tool that's going to be on your desk. All right, I'll give you a username and a password. You can use this tool. Compare it to whatever you got now, TradeStation or the Schwab stuff or the Fidelity stuff. This will stack up right there with it. All right, you'll see how fun it is. The best part is you can use it for a lot of automation. I like to use it as a time saver. Okay? No, it's not red light, green light, buy when it's green, sell when it's red, make $1 million. Right? Let the other guys talk about that stuff. That's not what this does. What it does is it reads my charts for me. Right? It reads them in 10 different time frames, so that I don't have to go through all of them. Shows me first what sectors of the market are moving, then I drill down just a little bit and it's going to show me the different stocks that are moving. Gives me my list, right? I got one crystal ball, shows me what's going to move and when on my earnings calendar. This is another one of my little crystal ball tools, right? Shows me what's on the move, even shows me when the right time is to buy, right? Based on my charts, based on my Fibonacci support and resistance, based on my retracement levels and so forth. Does all that homework for me. It's great. Why is that important to a lot of you? Because you just don't have the time to do that other stuff. Fibonacci stuff is interesting, no doubt about it. 38, 50, 61, 5, retracement to 117. I got it. Okay, I got it. But you just don't have time for all that if you've got to go to the soccer game. So what you need is some tools that shorten that up for you. That's what this does. It's not going to take you long to learn it. Okay, take you about 45 minutes to know which buttons to push. Then you're cooking with oil, because you've now found opportunity. But it's one thing to find the stock, it's another to know which option to trade. That's where Chris comes in. Okay, a little more heavy lifting. We got a tool that does some of it. Now we got Chris that's going to do some more. Okay, when it comes to selecting the right option, it has to meet Chris's Trade King All-Star criteria. This is the stuff he publishes. Okay, this is the good stuff. It's got to meet 5 different criteria. DEPOT, first letter in each of these criteria. Delta, expiration, premium, open interest, and time. So far, so good? Take a minute to write it down. Delta, expiration, premium, open interest, and time. Depot. You might not have heard of that before because Chris invented that. D, it's got to have the right correlation. All right? We want an option that moves when the stock moves. If that stock's moving, we want to be making money. Okay? Expiration. We got to make sure that we have enough time for the trade to come to fruition. Premium, we don't want to overpay. That's our only expense. And if we're business people, what do we want to do? Keep expenses down, all right, or certainly reasonable. Oh, open interest, measure of liquidity. Can I get in? Can I get out? If a profit shows up, can I get out and protect it? If I'm in a losing trade, can I get the heck out before it becomes damaging? Oh, has to have open interest. Time, there has to be value. Okay, and once he finds the right option, then he does a risk and reward calculation. Another one of those calculators, right? Another one of those Chris Irvin Trade King assets. When he does the calculation on this one, right, with Under Armour, what did he find out? Well, the risk in the trade was about 200. The reward was about 800. Okay, we're talking about per contract, and we're not talking about a big trade. Let's just do one contract. All right, am I willing to go further on a trade like this if I'm risking 200 to make 800? Well, that's 4-to-1 risk to reward. That looks good to me, especially if it meets all my other criteria. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this trade. Now, you want to do a trade? Let's do one. Let's do your first one right here as a walkthrough. Okay? Under Armour. You found the right stock. Under Armour. You found the right option. The one that meets all these criteria happens to be the October 55 call. The premium is 7. What are you going to do when you find it? Well, you don't have to hesitate. If all the boxes are checked, you're going to go ahead and buy it. Horrors, I'm going to buy an option. Yes, you are. If it's your first trade, good for you. First thing I'm going to do is help you breathe easier. You're going to build a floor under your trade. You're going to put a stop order on. Why? because you don't want to risk all $7. That's your money, okay? You're willing to risk a little, right? We'll risk 2, okay? According to the calculation, the appropriate risk on this is $2. So what happens? What do you mean, risk? You build a floor under your trade. We all want to make money, but if it goes against you, right, by $2 worth, you're going to exit that trade. You're going to get out. Automatically, if you're using some of the tools that we've got, this will happen. You're protected. You can walk away from it knowing that if it goes against you by $2, you're out. Now, what's the other thing you want to do? Well, you want to set a ceiling. If you got a floor to protect your downside, you set a ceiling to protect your profit. That's called a limit order. I call it a target. In this case, our target is going to be at $14. We're buying at 7. We're looking to get out at 14. So we're looking to double our money. Risk 2 to double our money. That's called a limit. Should it go up to that level, out we're going to go. You see that? That's a trade. That's the anatomy of a trade. You drilled down. You found the market sector. You found the right stock. You found the right option. It's the right risk profile. You go ahead and do the trade. Protect your downside. Protect your profit. You're done. How'd it work out? Good question. Let me show this to you. Okay? Just before Under Armour announced their earnings is where we entered the trade. Stock was trading at 60. Okay? We're not going to go buying it, in this case, 12, 13 shares. We're going to go ahead and get our call option. Okay? We're going to get our call option. Boom, what happens? Earnings are announced, stock does a nice pop. On day 14, it's up $10 a share. We don't get out just yet. Why not? Because we're in the profit zone. Okay? Remember when I told you we were playing with the house's money? That's what we're doing right now. So we can afford at this point to hang around a little while. And we do. We hang around for about 5 more days, looking for that next leg up. Well, it didn't come. So what happened, right about here, is where we exited our trade. Not at the high, but we gave ourselves a chance for it. That's just good money management, plus we're playing with house money at that point, okay? How'd we end up doing? Pretty simple, right? Trade went from $7 to $14.70. How'd we do net? 110%. Took us a total of 19 days. Write that down. Doubled your money in 19 days. Your mutual funds will double in 7 years. This will double in 19 days. Not bad, okay? Good-looking trade, risk and reward, solid. Well, what does he mean by that? He keeps saying risk and reward. Listen. I'm going to help you do this without the sweaty palms, without having to feel like you need a gene. You know those H&R commercials where they're bringing in the brown professor and the rocket scientist to help you with the taxes, right? And it's just simple concepts. You don't need the rocket scientist. This is the same thing, all right? And the concept I'm about to show you is going to change how you think about all this. Because if you're trading with the proper risk and reward ratios, right, you don't need to be a genius. You don't even have to be right every time. Right? This is going to take all the pressure off you. Let me show you. Let's say, okay, you did that Under Armour trade. It was 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. You risked 200 to make 800, and you got that winner. Well, you get to put that in your pocket. You get to put that in your account. Okay, that's the good stuff. You got a winner. Good for you. Now, let's say on the next trade, okay, it's the same setup. The software showed it. Chris showed you the option. It was 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Risk 200 to make 800, but it didn't work out. What if that trade turned into a dud? It came down to your stop and you exited. Well, you got to book that. Okay? That goes in your account too. This one we like. This one we don't. But they happen. Now let's say the next trade you do, same thing. All signs are positive. But that one turns into a dud also, and so does the next one. And you're thinking, whoa, slow down a minute. No, listen. What I just showed you is this. If you're trading the proper risk to reward ratio, this is what the trade's offering. This is what the trade is risking. And you're only right 1 time out of 4. Add up the columns. What do you see? You're still net profitable. You're right 1 time out of 4. Okay? You're still break even if you're right 1 time out of 5. What am I telling you? I don't care if you're new. I don't care if you're new. You can be right 1 time out of 5 to keep yourself going, okay? 1 time out of 4 to be profitable. Joe, I'm not even right half the time. Nope, you're not. And I get so tired of the guys that want to tell you they're right 80% and 85% of the time. That's all nonsense, okay? You don't have to be right 85% of the time to be a profitable trader, okay? You don't even have to be right. If you're right half the time, you're killing it if you're trading properly. This is the difference between the struggling trader and one that's making money, is they know how to do this, okay? And now you know how to do this, and you're ready to trade. You've already done a couple of them. You're ready to do this. You're ready to trade options. Look, All right, I've taught you well. It took us less than an hour. Okay, Brock, Carl, Tom, I got your stuff, right? You're going to be at the thing tomorrow morning. I just didn't want you to think I missed you. And you're ready to do this because you know what calls and puts are now. You know what contracts are, limited risk, delta, exercise, expiration, risk and reward ratio. You're there. You know what you need to know to get started. Is that everything? Of course not. Are you going to learn as you go? Yeah. You're not going to be able to help it. Okay? When you trade with this team, learn as you go. You're going to learn every bit about speaking our language. Now, Chris did you the favor of putting together what he calls the online university. What this is 16 modules so that by the time you're done, they're interactive, you do them online, okay? By the time you're done with that, you're absolutely speaking our language. That's something you can do at home. That's something you can do with your spouse. You can do it with your kids. You can do it with a trading partner, all right? You'll have access to this today. You got to get on the team, all right? I'll get you a username and password. This is going to be your educational foundation for trading with this team. But Chris says, look, if they don't have time for that, and that's one of the reasons they come to us, okay, is because they just have a limited amount of time, we'll make it easy, number one. We'll do stuff live. But number two, we'll do stuff live because that's our mantra. Telling you is different than showing. So what Chris says is he'll take you through everything in the online university. He'll do it in 2 days, and he'll do it in a live market. Okay, won't do it on a Saturday and Sunday because the market's closed. Best day to learn is when the market's open. Okay, then if an opportunity presents itself while we're learning a concept, guess what we're going to do? We're going to trade it. You're going to have your account open. If you don't have one, you'll have one on a Thursday or Friday when you come to the class. Well, what are the dates? Listen, we have them a couple of times every month. There's 2 opportunities in March. When you get the call today, when we make that connection to get you on the team, you're just going to pick the one that you can go to. All right, whichever one works for you. You need a little lead time to make a couple arrangements. It's going to happen. But know this, Chris says it's got to be in a live environment because when the market's open, we don't want to miss opportunities. That's what we deliver. All right, we deliver that to our team and our teammates. So that includes you at this point. All right, now what happens though if we're not together? What happens if we've got a 2-day session? And by the way, you can go to those as many times as you want. You can go to a 2-day Thursday and Friday live session. Okay, and the next time one comes up, we go again. Well, am I going to keep learning basic concepts? Listen, anytime you go around, all right, and an exercise, that's like money in the bank, all right? I teach basic concepts sometimes, but that helps me as a trader. The teacher always gets the best education because I get to remind myself of all the things that are important before I go and mess things up in my own account. So this helps me too. You being here today is helping me. All right, and it's gonna continue, right? That synergy, that relationship that we now have is going to continue to lend us results. And I don't want to be the only person getting them. I want you to get some too. All right. Now, one of the things that Chris does is he says, look, not everybody is going to be going to the 2-day classes all the time because they have other things to do. What he'll do in the meantime is spy the market. All right. And the fact is he'll look for different opportunities and he'll send them to you. He'll send what's called a top op. Write that down. Top op email alert. Just kind of a fancy name for it. But what is this? This is Chris doing the heavy lifting on your behalf and saying, look, I'm going to teach you all this stuff, but until you learn it, I'll do it for you. Okay? Come on, we'll do a couple exercises together. The more you do this stuff, the more it's going to become second nature. That's called learning, right, in the game rather than on the sidelines. All right? Now, you're going to link up to Chris either through email or through your iPhone, whatever. You're going to get a link, a buzz of some kind is going to come to you. All right, it's going to get a date and a timestamp, and it's going to be a note from Chris that says, look, whatever you're doing, just hold on to it for a minute, right? Put down the groceries, put down the trading book, and let's go make some money. Let's go do a trade because Apple is setting up right now. So he sent this note to the whole team that day, that time regarding Apple. Now, he does a little bit of discussion at first, but where the rubber meets the road is right here. And if any of you knows anything about support and resistance, about Fibonacci's, about risk and reward calculations, AB boundaries, C, D extension, okay, about delta, if you know what all that is, you can see it all on this screen. If you don't know what all that is, you can see it all on this screen. So what I want you to do is go ahead and take a screenshot of it. And that's something you can print out after we're done, right? A little control print screen, okay? I want you to have a copy of that so that you can understand what Chris is doing when it comes to his top ops. This is far from throwing your money against the wall and seeing if it sticks. This is full analysis and everything that you're going to learn on the team. The more you do this, the more it's going to happen. It'll be very organic the way that it occurs. Okay? But the fact is, he's going to show you this entire trade. And he's not messing around because this is a $100 stock. This is exactly what I wanted to be doing when I got this note. I'm like, all right, we're going to be trading Apple, right? Trading Apple. I can't wait to see what it is we're going to do. And after doing all of that analysis and what I call heavy lifting, what does he say at the very end of this conversation? You know what he says? We're not doing it. We're not doing it. What's he talking about? All that work? I just read through this whole thing, all the time it took to set up, and we're not taking it? That's right. Now, what am I trying to tell you here? Listen, this isn't the guy that's out to impress you with anything but making money. Okay? Chris is an all-star for a reason. He's not here to excite you with fancy vocabulary. He is here, right, to protect your downside and only put you in opportunities, okay, that make sense. Is this a good trade? You know what? It might be. Is this a trade that makes money? You know what? It might be. But the fact is, might be isn't good enough. And the reason you want to be on this team, right, the most important reason is right here in front of you. One of you wants to make money. That's true. But every last one of you wants darn well to protect the money you already have. If that's true, go ahead and type a yes in the box. All right? The rookie, the average trader, is going to shoehorn themselves into this trade because they want to trade some Apple. But Chris says not this time. Okay? And you know what happened on this team? And that might have been frustrating because we all want to make money. But if you only waited for a couple of days, okay, here's what happened. A couple of days later, right, Chris sent out this note. You want to talk about getting us off on the right foot for the month, right? He sent out this note on LinkedIn. And guess what? He did all the work again. He did all the heavy lifting. He checked all the boxes. Take a screenshot of that one too. Okay, control print screen. That's LinkedIn. Okay, $193 stock. February the 4th. Told us exactly how to fill out our order ticket and said, this one's a go. And we did it just before LinkedIn announced that earnings report. And you remember it from earlier. What happened? Stock went from 200 down to 100 in a day. What did we do? We made $3,986 on one contract in a day. Now, how in the heck did you do that? The answer is we traded with the right guy. All right, we traded the right strategy. We traded what's called a straddle. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But what I'm going to tell you is, you remember those thank you notes? He'll send them to you also. And at 10:30, right, Friday morning, he said it's a beautiful Friday. I would dare say if you're up $4,000 by 10:30, that's a beautiful any day. He did it doing a straddle, and it's a trade that I have to show you because that's Chris's bread and butter. All right, Chris's bread and butter. Pretty safe trade to make 72%, right? 79% on a straddle. You got to know how to do this. I'm going to show you how to do this, and it's going to make sense to you. And Chris tells me I have to show you this before you get to the 2-day class so you hit the ground running. It's the last thing I have to show you, so stay with me. The last concept you'll pick up at Investor Inspiration today, so I want you to pick this up and have this be a huge takeaway for you, all right? A straddle is when you place a trade on either side of the market, and regardless of which direction it goes, you make money as long as it goes. It's called a non-directional strategy, okay? You place a trade on either side of the market. And you make money if it goes up or down, as long as it goes up or down. Non-directional. Let me show you an example of this real quick. I'll show you an example using Tesla, okay? There are certain stocks that are absolute straddle candidates. This is one of them. Not all of them are. This is one of them. Tesla was trading at 260. Now, I needed my crystal ball. When is the stock going to move? Elon Musk provided the crystal ball. He said in 2 days at 2 o'clock, I'm going to unveil new and exciting things about my company. This was not an earnings announcement. This was unscheduled. But when he tweeted out that information, that's as good as a crystal ball. I knew what I was going to trade. I knew what time of day. And on a $260 stock that is hypersensitive, it was exactly the right thing. Okay? hypersensitive. Tesla's hypersensitive. You ever see that stock move up and down? Holy cow. They open a new factory, stock rockets to the upside. There's one burning by the side of the freeway. On the 6 o'clock news, the stock rockets to the downside. This thing moves around a lot, and this guy just told me when it was going to move. Now, do I know which way? Well, if I did, I'd know what to do. If I knew it was going up, I'd buy some calls. If I knew it was going down, I'd buy some puts. But what if I didn't have a clue which way it was going to go? Because I don't, then I do both. I do both. I bought the call, right, paid my premium for it. That way, in case the stock goes up, my call goes up with it. I also bought the put, paid my premium for that. Why? Because in case the stock goes down, my put's going to go with it. So it doesn't matter which way it's going to go, I'm going to make money. If my call goes up, I'm going to make money. If my put goes up, or if the stock goes down, my put's going to make money. And you're thinking, well, that looks pretty good. Let me do that. But wait, Joe, what? Don't they just cancel each other out? That's a good question, and that's the first one that I asked when I first saw this, and this is how it was explained to me, and it's going to make perfect sense to you. Understand, okay? If Tesla were to go up, what's going to happen? The call is going to be the thing making money. Now, how high can it go? Well, how high can the stock go? If it's at 260, Elon Musk says something fantastic. Could it go to 300? Sure. How about 320, 350, 400? It could go to the moon. Okay? And the higher it goes, the more my call is going to be valued. Now, at the same time, what's going to happen to my put? My put's going to lose money. Okay? The higher the stock goes, the lower my put's going to go. However, my put's downside is limited to what I paid for it. The most I can lose on my put is what I paid for it. So my call's upside is unlimited. That thing could go to 500. My put, most I can lose is 7. See that? And it works just the same in the other direction. If the stock goes down, my put's going to go up in value. In fact, it'll keep going up in value all the way down to 0. Right? Stock goes to 0, I make 260. At the same time, my call's going to lose value, but the most it can lose is what I paid for it. Most I can lose on that is 7. And this is how straddles work. Okay? Either way, my in-the-money position has an unlimited upside. My out-of-the-money position has a limited downside. That's what makes straddles work. Well, show me what happened with that Tesla. I'd be glad to, because we did this trade. Okay? We did this trade October the 7th. October the 9th, Elon Musk kept his promise. He jumped on the microphone and started talking all kinds of stuff about his company. And the more he talked, the more his stock tanked. I mean, it went from 260 to 252 in like a minute. Then it was at 246. He had investors there. Right? At the meeting, they were trying to drag him off the stage. Stop talking. We're getting killed. We didn't care. All we needed was the stock to move, and it did, and look what happened. Of course, when Tesla went down, it's our put that went up in value. It went from 770 all the way to 2135. Now, our call lost money. In fact, we lost almost all of it. But when we closed the position, look how we did. Net, we made ourselves $6,200. Took us 6 days. That's a straddle, non-directional. And do they work? Yes. On every stock? No. On stocks that are super sensitive and are priced right. And on Netflix, that's like a cash register for us. Once every 3 months, just before earnings, we place our trade. They announce earnings, boom, $24.50 overnight. Not too bad. Remember this one from last week? Write it down. We're in it now. Okay? It's made its first move. You can get the rest of it. Weight Watchers. Chris sends out a top op, does all the analysis. Quick, do a screenshot. I told you I'd give you stuff you could take with you today. Okay? You got this? Right? The analyst target 35. Can you imagine this? The analyst said this stock was going to 35. You already know what happened. We didn't know if it was going to 35 or it was going to 3. So we straddled it. See this? We straddled it. Now what's going on? Boom. Stock got killed in 1 day. Oprah Winfrey or no Oprah Winfrey, Weight Watchers got mugged. All right? And now we're here. We're in this part of the profit zone. Where are we looking for this thing to go? Well, by the analysis, it looks like this stock could go to 3. All right? Does that mean there's more opportunity in it for you? Yes. How do I do it with low risk, though, Joe? Here's the answer. Okay? Don't do a big capital outlay. You got to put contract. All right? Maybe we even straddle it from this price point, but that might not be something that we could cover in just a minute or two, but you could cover it with Chris, cover it with him tomorrow. All right? This is a trade that our team is doing. You want to know the second leg of this so you can still be in it, right? Is there an opportunity there? Well, if it's going to trade at 3
and it's trading at 11 now, that's 8 points. That's 76% on the stock. Not a bad ROI. I'd probably want to show up for that one. You need to know how to do straddles. Walk through a couple of them with Chris tomorrow at 5. So if you can make them both tomorrow, make them. All right, this is your team. This will be your team. If you can make them both tomorrow, make them. If you can't make the morning one, but you can make the afternoon, be there for straddles. Okay, and Chris knows what our team is doing, so he'll be able to pick up a little on Exxon if that's the one that you can make it to. All right, but for that, you have to type your name and phone number in the little chat box, and you have to put the word straddle next to it so that you can meet with Chris. Kevin in the morning, Chris in the afternoon. Okay, Kevin's there every day, 9 to 11, and he's there again at the close from 3 to 5. Okay, so know that you'll get to visit with Kevin, but tomorrow's our team meeting. You want to be there for that. And then Chris at 5 to do straddles. And I don't care if you're new. Listen, I know some of you haven't done this before. Alvina never did this before. She sent us a note. I never did this before, and I was nervous. Of course. Okay, you get sweaty palms when you're not sure. You get sweaty palms when you don't know what you're doing. You get sweaty palms when you're taking some risk. I get it. But look at where she is now. I did the trade, right? I closed it for $3,500 profit, and I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Right. Doesn't know what she's doing, right? Never did it before. Nervous. She got over it, and she went out and made herself some money. And now she's got 3,500 reasons to show up and do the next one, and they keep coming. Amazon, same thing, right? $500, 3 days. Not all the money in the world, but a good trade, right? Same thing here, Netflix. When you set it up this way, all right, risk, limited. Reward, big. $620, right? There's another one, Amazon, $1,800. We use Amazon every 3 months. It's like a little cash register. It's great, okay? Now, how do you get started doing this? Because I can see it, and I've already told you who this is for. This is not for everyone, okay? But for those of you that it is for, you're like, yeah, I could use that. Somebody to do some of that heavy lifting for me and let me learn as I go. Somebody that's more of a peer, okay? Well, then here it is, okay? And to get started, what do? You type your name and phone number in the chat box, and you get some questions answered. Okay? You start that dialogue. You start that conversation. You got Bed Bath & Beyond. That's a $20,000 conversation. If you can have those somewhere else, I would say you got to have those, right? But it's short of that. Let's have one here. Those are the kind of conversations you want to be having all the time. And we do. That's what we do. We have a good time, and, you know, we get the all-star accolades because we know how to get the job done. All right, let's make it personal, find out what it is you want to accomplish doing this, figure out the best way for you to take advantage of every resource. Come to the class, pick the dates, and then let's go trade. Gang, this is what works, okay? This is what works. I've been doing this a long time, all right? It's not the fancy strategy of the day. I've heard those for years. It's not the fancy software, red light and green light, and hey, and all this. Listen, I've done that. I've seen it all right? What works is what I'm showing you. You put together some education, you put together the right tools and the right team, and now you're on to something. And you don't have to travel to do this, okay? You don't have to go to New York like I did, get a lousy apartment with 5 guys, right, just so you could try to be in the same neighborhood as these traders, okay? You can do this right from your kitchen table, save you the trip. And your trading floor is going to look like your kitchen floor, which is kind of fun. And when you get to, I know what you're visualizing. All right, if you're new at this, you're visualizing what that feels like. But I'm going to tell you, if you're a veteran trader, you want to feel this way all the time. And it might be, not that you're looking for the wrong strat, you just might not be talking to the right people. Chris will have you, man. Get on the team. Ultimate Stock and Options here at Market Traders Institute. It is world class. It is the most comprehensive education tools, most important team in the business. And when you get enrolled today, listen, when you get enrolled, you get all the things I was telling you. I'll just review them for you real quick. You get the online university. You can start that today. All right, it's fun. It's interactive. Chris does the modules. All right, he's got that sense of humor. He'll keep you engaged and interested. But every time you go through one of those modules, you're kind of learning the language that we speak. All right, and it's not technical or complicated. It's just the way we talk. But if you're going to be on the team, you're going to know what it is that we're talking about. You can do that, like I said, with a partner, and you can do the live instruction. You got 4 chairs at your kitchen table. Fill them, and let's do the class together. All right, I'll get that scanner on your desk. In fact, I'll let you use it for a couple of months for free before you decide if you want to make that a part of your ongoing tool bag, if you will. That's a couple of $100 a month if you do, but I'll give you 3 months to try that one and test it out. And the same thing with the charting package. All right, everybody is looking at a chart, but there's some that have some automated buttons attached to them that make them a cut above. So I want you to have the Market Traders Institute Ultimate Charting Software. I'll let you try that one for a couple of months, compare it to what you're using now, and see if that's something you want to add to your war chest as well. Told you already. All right, that's the education and the tools, and your team's going to be there. When the market opens, Dixon's there, all right, along with Angie Cervantes, all right, another options trader, options expert, oil, Bed Bath & Beyond, dollar stores, Apple. This is all happening now, okay? And same thing, he's there in the afternoon also, and then the top ops will come to you looking just like that. So that's education, tools, and team. The only thing left is commitment, right? Yours and ours. And here's how our commitment works. It's real simple. We let you use every resource we've got, not for 10 days or 15 or 30, right? We let you use every resource for 60 days before you have to make any kind of final financial decision on it. Yeah, that's right. Come trade with us. If you're committed to doing it, we'll make a commitment to you. We'll make sure for 60 days, right, you say to yourself, this is an opportunity I could take advantage of. Yeah, don't have to make a final financial decision. No, I want you to concentrate on trading with us for 2 months. Right? Then you'll be evaluating the whole time, and after 60 days, that's when you make a final decision. Now, how much is this? Well, if you go to my website, you'll see, right, at markettraders.com, if you put all of this together individually on the website, it comes out to a $12,000 package. But here we do things a little bit differently, and I'm going to give you a couple of ways to get started. Everybody that's gotten started with our team has gotten started one of these two ways. First and foremost, you can go to the website. If you did, all right, I told you it's on there individually for $12,000, but you'll find a button that bundles everything, all right, and you can go there 7 days a week. MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover. You can get enrolled online, and that package online is discounted to $79.95. All right, what do? They bundle it so they can give you that economy of scale. That's an easy way to save you some money. But here at the workshop, we do things just a little different. All right, here at the workshop, because you've been to Investor Inspiration, you've made this commitment of time. You've gotten the point where your foundation is built, so when you get there, you can hit the ground running. Okay, what that's going to do is also save us time and resources. So with that, there's a value on that. And what we do here at the workshop is we say, we appreciate that you were here, and we can put a value on what you've learned already. In fact, we can save you $2,000 off the website price of the program. But here's what they're going to do to make it even easier for everybody. All right, normally, and those of you who have been to my workshops before know that we do give the webinar scholarship at the workshops, and it becomes a $59.95 price point. But what we've decided to do today, it's the first day of March. We want to get you started immediately. We want to get you started not only making profits, but also get you ready for things that are coming on that earnings calendar, not the least of which is our non-farm payrolls announcement that's coming on Friday. That's going to move this market. There's an opportunity to make money. We want you to be positioned for that. So to make that easy for everybody that's here, what we're going to do today is we're going to take 50% off the website price of the program, bringing it to a phenomenal one-time investment of $3,995. All right, and if you're ready to get started with that program, all right, that's what we call option A. You type your name and phone number in the chat box, and one of my education team is going to call you and make sure you get enrolled. Now that takes about 5 or 10 minutes to do, okay? They'll get you enrolled. They'll make sure you have the username and password, not just for the online university, but also for the charting package and the scanner, okay? They'll also make sure that you have a reservation for Kevin's session tomorrow and Chris's session tomorrow. Then they'll give you a schedule going forward of what you're going to be doing for the next 60 days, okay? $39.95 is your one-time investment. Now, some of you have already asked, can I finance it? There is a way that you can do that, okay? You could go to my website and get the bundle price there, $79.95, and there's no financing option. Here at the webinar, I have a financing option, and I can still take $1,000 off the program, all right? So if you decide you want to finance, here's what will happen. You'll put something down, right, $1,000, $1,500, whatever it is, and then you can spread the remainder of the payments over time. You can decide how much time you need. It's a zero interest thing. Really what this does is get your foot in the door, and it gives you a chance to pay as you go. Now, if that is how you want to take advantage of this, that's fine. What I need you to do is type in your name and phone number and just put the letter B next to it. That way I can get somebody on the phone with you that is good at customizing payments, can do it very quickly, it's very efficient, and they're well instructed on that, so they'll be able to get you through that and get you down to getting enrolled. Because I know that's what you want to do. You want to get your resources, you want to get on the team. Well, whether you're an A or a B, I want you to understand how this works. You will be able to use every single one of our resources. We're so confident in our ability to teach you how to be a stock and options trader, and in your ability to learn and get results, that here's what we say. Use all of our stuff. Go through the entire training. Every bit of what you've been looking for is right there in front of you. You're going to have a scanner on your desk. You're going to have a charting package. You're going to have the online university. You're going to have the trading room open to you. And you get a 2-month look at all of that. Okay? At the end of 2 months, when you've absorbed all these things for 2 full months, you're going to make a decision, right? And it's actually going to be a pretty easy one. Either you're going to continue with the program because now you're on the team and it's something that you've been looking for, it's a time saver, it's all those things that we talked about, okay? Or you're just going to say at the end of 60 days, you know what, guys, appreciate your time, it's not for me. If that's the case, all we'll ask you to do is give us back the stuff. We'll refund every penny that you paid just for giving it a try. All right, your risk in that is zero, right? Your upside is phenomenal. Now, why do we do that? Number one, when you make that one-time payment today, and you get that 50% discount, it's phenomenal, $39.95. Let's say you put that on your American Express, okay? Now you're committed to showing up, and you will show up because you've got $39.95. Even though it's protected, I know you, all right? You'll show up for those lessons because you want to get value out of the program, okay? And what that's going to do is give us a fighting chance to teach you, all right? You're going to let us do our stuff at that point, deliver those results, that stuff that gets us into Inc. magazine and so forth, okay? We're going to go through it together for 60 days. And you've really got us on the clock at that point. You've got us on the clock. We're on the spot. We got to deliver those results, all right? We got a reputation to uphold. We want to show you those results so you show us 2 friends of yours, right, who you told about your results, and now we get a chance to train them too. That's how it works. That's synergy. You understand? We all are going to have a part to play in it. Your part is today making a decision. You worth doing that? $39.95 to become an options trader with this team. You got Chris Irvin, you got Kevin Dixon, you got Andy Cervantes, you got Tyson Clayton, you got all the resources at Market Traders Institute right there at your disposal. All right, I'm going to let you use that scanner. I'm going to let you use that charting package. Now, why would I do that for 3 months if I was only going to give you a 2-month warranty? Here's the answer, because I'm planning for your success, and so is Chris. Okay, we're planning for your success. We want you to make this decision to stay with the team, and you know what we'll say? Good. You've got another month with the stuff. Use it. Let's go. Let's do a 3rd month of this. Let's make sure you're sending notes that look like this, trading some Twitter, right? 1 contract making $500. Do 10 contracts. It's $5,000. That's a good one. Right? I like this. I did Apple yesterday, made 25 points a contract. How about $7,500? Not bad. Yeah, not bad, right? Charles, I made 83% of my money back in 2 trades. Because I know you got to figure out a way to pay for this. There's no question. Okay? He made 83% of his money back in 2 trades, and he goes on, he's friendly about it. He says, what do you got to lose? You got 60 days. If it's not for you, they'll give you back your money. All right? Here's what I want to say when it comes to that. I don't want you to do this if all you're thinking about is getting your money back. That's not a good enough reason, okay? I don't want you to make $4,000. I want you to make $400,000. I don't want this to be 2 trades for you. I want this to be something that you decide to do this month, next month, the month after that, next year. I want this to be your thing. You know why? Because it's my thing, and I get a kick out of it, man. I'm good at it. And I get a kick out of it. I get a kick out of talking to people like you, bringing them on board. I know what the future looks like because I've lived it and I've seen it. And we got 19 years and 30,000 students. All right, this is something that you can do. Now it's just a matter of getting your foot in the door. All right, it's either option A, save you 50%, or option B, you pay a little time on it. Whichever it is, though, type your name and phone number in the chat box. All right, and let's go ahead and get that conversation happening. You get started today, I'll give you a vertical spreads course. Now, what's that? Well, that's a little deeper into the pool. Okay, those of you who are my veteran traders, you know what the value is in vertical spreads. Now you got to find the right person to teach it to you. All right, how about Tyson Clayton does that, does a couple of quick credit spreads to put some money into your account, and let's see if we can impress you a little bit. All right, you'll be able to do that for 4 sessions with Tyson. Normally he charges a little for that. We're going to include that here if you get started today. All right, so let's get you enrolled. You get started today, you get a 2-month warranty. I'll give you your software. I'll give you your charting software. In fact, I'll extend that. All right, I'll take you out to July with your charting package. If you're serious about this, I'll show you that we're serious too. I'll give you out to July with your charting package, all right, when you get started today. So it's either option A or option B, okay? Option A or option B. $39.95 is a one-time payment. Make it simple, right? American Express card, whatever. If you need to pay time, you put a little something down. You still get that 60-day warranty. All right, 60 days to work with this team. And you're looking for the right team. Where do you look? All right, you don't need me for the free stuff. You can find that everywhere. But at some point, and I know how this works, you got to find the right team to work with. And this one's going to be there at your fingertips. You log in, right? You find out what we're about. If it's not for you, it's not for you. All right, but you got 60 days to make that evaluation. I want you to feel like this, and I'll back you up. That's why I don't mind asking. I don't mind asking, do I know $39.95 is not? Of course. But I don't mind asking because I know we're backing it up. So now it's really on you, all right? Are you worth the investment? You want to invest the time and the resources in doing this, we're going to give it back to you tenfold. That's the name of the game. And if money's the issue, listen, hold on. There's still a bunch of you here, okay? Some of you have entered your name in the chat box. Some of you haven't. And I got a feeling that you're kind of mulling it over a little bit, and that's fine. And some of you are hung up maybe on the money part. Well, let's slow down for a minute, okay? Slow down. Let's take the money part off the table, and let's just talk about the opportunity, all right? Is there an options market where traders are making money? Yes. Is that something you think you can do? Mechanically, it couldn't be any simpler. You open up an options account, right? You can go ahead and trade it. Now, if you want to get comfortable with an options account, you don't have one already, here's what you do. Go to one of the options trading firms. Here, Options Express. This is one of them. You can go to Schwab. You can go to Fidelity. You can go to Trade King, right? But I'll just show you this one as an example. And you can trade, right? Open an account.
Virtual trade from.
Okay. You can open an account here, right? Where you can virtual trade, where they'll give you $50,000 in play money so you can learn what all the buttons do. Do a couple of trades with us, see if they work, and you go, oh man, wish that was some real money, right? And then do the third one and the fourth one with the team. I want you to make $5,600 on LinkedIn. I do. All right. Do a couple of trades like that. Those are ones that I had to show you because they're recent. All right. We started February with LinkedIn. What are we trading tomorrow? Dollar Tree. What else are we trading tomorrow? Come on, come to the meeting. All right? Get yourself an account open. I know you can do it mechanically. So if you can do the exercise, and if it makes sense and there's money to be made, then you have to do it. If the only thing that's hanging you up is the money part, then let me just take it off the table completely. Here, if you could get started, and I could give you all these things, okay? Your tools, your education, your team, all that support, and I can do it for you for free. Would that kind of get rid of the excuses and get you to put your phone number in the little chat box? I hope so. So do that, okay? If I can get this for you, come on, free. Tell me you can get it for free. Listen, there's always a way to do something. You want something bad enough, you'll figure out a way. Is there a way to get this for free? You bet there is. Some of the best traders we have, okay, started out coming to a webinar just like this one. And when I got to this part, you know what they did? They typed in their name and their phone number and put the word free next to it. Where it says, get your questions answered, that might be your first question. How do I get this for free? It's fine. Let's have that conversation, right? You've been looking for the right team, the right people, right? You've been looking for the right tools. We've been at this 19 years, gang. We got 30,000 students. You make an investment in your trading, number one, it's going to save you time. You found the right market, okay? It's going to save you time, and it's going to save you some money. And if you have a limited amount of both, okay, you're going to need somebody, A, to do a little of the heavy lifting while you're learning. That's Chris, okay? And B, you know what? You're going to need to make a little bit of dough right out of the gate to keep you in the game. I want you playing with house money. I don't want you playing with your own, right? That's a much better way to do things. So let's get you there. If you're saying to yourself, okay, I've been to Investor Inspiration throughout the day today. I saw 1, 2, 3, 8 presentations, all right? They were all great. At some point, you have to decide that you're going to take a step forward. And if it's this last opportunity where you've just been saying, I know I have to do something, right? Take a half a step. Free means you can take it without a whole lot of risk, right? So make that happen. You got to take a step forward from where you are. I hope I was helpful. To my new people, I bet I was helpful. To people who have a little bit more experience, you know what? I know it was a little bit basic, and I went over a couple of different concepts, but maybe it's that time part that fits in a little better for you. You want to know that what you would do is what Chris is doing. Well, there it is. Okay? You get used to that, and all of a sudden you're saying, you know what? I'd rather go play some golf. I'd rather go play a quick 9 and have my iPhone in my pocket and let Chris do the work, right? Then sit here and kind of do my Weight Watchers Fibonacci's. You see what I mean? And that's really the name of the game. That's what this group does. All right? Maybe it is a little bit older. Maybe it is a little bit. We talk about things a little bit differently because we're in that 45 and over little crowd for the most part. But the fact is, that's what we do, and we get it. All right? So let's make that something that can happen for you. What do you got to lose at this point? You got 60 days, okay? And I want you to make more than the 4,000. All right? I want you to be thinking about 40 and 400 because that's where it is. All right? With that, listen, I got a bug. I got to get, and I appreciated the time that you took with me and with Investor Inspiration today. A fantastic time. And I really am happy that they thought enough of me to be able to present to their audience, all right? I've been doing this a little while, and I don't know if I'm doing a little different than the other guys. I imagine that I am, but I'm always happy to get those kind of invitations and really pleased that I got to have a chance to talk and visit with you. All right, with that, all the best to you. Have a great rest of the day. Before you sign out, it's either going to be A, B, or free, okay? A, B, or free before you check out. Just take a step forward from this today. Make this have been worth all the time you took. All right, best to all of you.